After 10 years of destiny, we took on the darkest force yet, the Witness and its final shape. We Guardians prevailed, but keep your eyes up because the Destiny 2 story isn't over yet. On Tuesday, May 6th, Bungie finally revealed our next big story arc, the Year of Prophecy, on their Edge of Fate reveal livestream. And boy oh boy, Destiny is going through some exciting evolutions. So what does the Year of Prophecy include? Well, we're getting 2 expansions, core game updates, major seasonal updates, and much more. The first of the expansions is titled Destiny 2: The Edge of Fate, while the second expansion that will be released in the last quarter of the year is titled Destiny 2: Renegades. These expansions set the stage for a new saga of Destiny that Bungie is calling the Fate Saga. The Year of Prophecy's Fate Saga will begin with the Edge of Fate on July 15th, 2025. The saga will explore the nature of fate and the very foundation of the universe itself. This saga is focused on the Nine, who we know have been around long before the Traveler and are actually 9 individual godlike beings with their own goals, rivalries, and personalities. They are heavily involved in our solar system and are one of Destiny's biggest mysteries. We will be facing a new threat that predates everything we know about Soul and will have us asking, are we bound by fate? Now, if we're dealing with the Nine, that means the Emissary of the Nine has a big role in this expansion, right? Well, she certainly did in one of the teaser trailers from the reveal. During this teaser trailer, the Emissary is being spoken to by a member of the Nine who is telling her that they have been around before the Traveler and we have forgotten about them even though we need them. This 9 figure states they will remind us of their importance, and this is when the Emissary of the Nine, who was once a former Titan Guardian called Orin, broke free of their will, refusing to aid them, basically quitting her job. When doing so, she literally shed her emissary skin to reveal her in her Titan armor, as she said, "My will is my own." Now, this phrase is important because every weekend when Xur, an agent of the Nine, comes to the tower, we can hear him saying, "My will is not my own." I believe that the emissary, or rather Orin, and potentially Xur, will have a big part in the story of this expansion. However, 2 characters we do know will have a major role in this upcoming expansion are firstly, Warlock Vanguard Ikora Rey, and a new ally, Lodi, who is from a distant place and shrouded in mystery. However, for the Guardian veterans who are familiar with the Vesper Station, we do know that he is somehow tied to it. The Edge of Fate is meant to propel Guardians into a multi-year saga that will unfold across multiple expansions. Guardians will explore a new destination called Kepler. It is inspired by the puzzle-solving and pathfinding challenges of Destiny 2's dungeons and destination designs, which encourages deep exploration, player-driven discovery, and mystery. With this new destination comes a new key feature, the abundant dark matter energy that actually powers the abilities available to the Guardian while in exploration. This new feature is called the Matterspark. This ability allows Guardians to bind to dark matter to change forms that enable them to jump and dash across terrain, squeeze through tight spaces, and become a literal rolling force of destruction. But that's not all. There is an additional ability called the Relocator Cannon, which uses fallen dark matter tech to teleport players across the environment. Then there is the other ability known as Mattermorph, which allows Guardians to manipulate their surroundings using the combined forces of dark matter and strand. Now, every expansion will have a different style showcasing their story. Destiny 2: The Edge of Fate is definitely taking on a Metroidvania game and story style. Now, before we move on to other things, we need to talk about the enemies we saw in this reveal. Firstly, we do not see any new unknown enemy factions, though we do see new enemy types within the factions we recognize. Let's talk about the Elixni faction. On Kepler, we see the faction known as the House of Exile. This house is actually obsessed with an individual known as the Giver. Now, we don't know who the Giver is yet, but maybe they tie in to the Nine somehow. But there is a new Elixni enemy type, the Corsairs. These are flying beings with jetpacks. But that's not all. We also see these Elixni wielding weapons that use stasis and strand elements. And I wonder if their tech comes from Kepler specifically. Now, we also have a new Vex enemy. While we do see Maya Sundarash's Coral Vex, among them we see a new enemy type called Imp Swarm. These are flying drone-like creatures that stay clustered in a swarm. Not much else is known of them yet. Aside from the release of the expansion, The Edge of Fate, on July 15th, major core gaming innovations will also be introduced that day to all Destiny 2 players. During the reveal, Bungie showcased an updated UI called The Portal. This is a new streamlined activity selection screen that offers instant access to a range of activities tailored to different playstyles to make it easier than ever for players to find their next adventure. With this UI update comes even more changes and updates to the game because Bungie wants to keep things fresh and exciting by pushing the boundaries of innovation. Players will be able to easily choose between Pinnacle Ops, Crucible Ops, Fireteam Ops, and the new Solo Ops. Team Ops and Pinnacle Ops reinforce quick fireteam action and longer form cooperative content, while the new Solo Op activities are specifically designed for the solo player who wants short, self-containing gameplay sessions without the need for a fireteam. But there's more! Players can tailor activities to match their desired gameplay and the specific rewards they are chasing. 50 new modifiers will allow for deeper gameplay customization and offer even greater challenges for players, all while curating activity rotations to ensure there is always something new to chase. Armor and gear systems are also evolving with this expansion. This means richer opportunities for build crafting. Players will experience set bonuses, reworked character stats, and armor that starts with full energy. Also, our ability caps will be raised from 100 to 200. While we're on the topic of character stats, I need to talk about the new power level mechanics. They're actually resetting everyone to the same power level, which isn't new from major expansions, but this will make Guardians more on par with one another and making the catch-up grind less imperative to the player. You will also be able to power grind through PvP. Previously, the only way to really power level was through PvE activities, which is a huge deal for those PvP-loving players. Now, honestly, this makes it easier for new players and veterans who have left the player base to return or join in on Destiny with ease, especially with the removal of the season paywall. The 2 expansions will need to be paid for, but the major content updates outside of these expansions will be available for all players and make the game even more accessible for a wider base of its players, which is a huge deal. This new structure doesn't require paid access to seasonal activities to ensure all players can experience the evolving game world together. Now, before we discuss the next expansion that was revealed, we need to talk about Ash and Iron, the major content update that comes before it. Ash and Iron will arrive in September of 2025 as part of the same season as the Edge of Fate expansion. This content update will continue the Destiny story with new and reprised activities and new missions. But the most important part about the Ash and Iron update is that it brings back an old beloved Destiny 1 location from the Cosmodrome that veteran Guardians will remember fighting the Siva in, the Plaguelands. Now, let's talk about the second expansion in the Year of Prophecy, Destiny 2 Renegades. This is slated for a December 2nd, 2025 release and is inspired by the Star Wars universe. Renegades merges Destiny's distinctive storytelling and gameplay with themes and elements drawn from the iconic sci-fi franchise. This is meant to be an homage to Star Wars. Bungie is working with Lucasfilm's games for this expansion, but this will not be a direct crossover. The narrative of Renegades is an integral part of the Fate Saga and will introduce new Destiny characters, innovative activities, and evolved mechanics designed to surprise and delight players. But let's be honest here. I just want the lightsaber-looking blade the Warlock has in the teaser video. Now, continuing on, Bungie revealed the roadmap for the Year of Prophecy. Each year will now feature 4 major content beats. These are in the form of 2 paid expansions and 2 major updates. They even stated in the reveal that these expansions are said to be larger than Destiny 1's Rise of Iron expansion. And trust me when I say that is mind-blowingly huge. Rise of Iron had a really good story length, but had plenty of extended content from exotic missions to a new strike and even a raid. The expansions will include new stories, locations, weapons, and gear. There will also be a new raid with the Edge of Fate expansion on July 19th, with the Renegades expansion having a new dungeon. Ash and Iron and Shadow and Order will get major updates. These seasonal updates will feature new and reprised activities, a new sandbox meta, new events, modifiers, challenges, and artifact mods. We also see on the roadmap labeled Reward Pass. This is where Guardians can get their hands on new exotic weapons and ornaments, new legendary weapons, armor ornaments, and cosmetics. Now, if you think that's a lot to take in, you're right, but there's even more. Destiny 2 is bringing back its shooting range with actual scoreboards. You will be able to switch out enemy types as well as their difficulties. This will be an amazing tool for the Guardians who love playing with various class builds. Also, for those Vault hoarders, the Destiny 2 team has stated on social media that the Vault space is not changing in the Edge of Fate. but they do have additional vault space and quality of life features planned for Renegades later this year. At this time, it's hard to say how I'll like this updated structure, but hopefully there will be enough story missions to pad out the campaigns so that this new format can work in Bungie and the player's favor. Now, if you want to pre-purchase the Year of Prophecy, the best price version for the money and content is the $100 option. You get both the Edge of Fate and Renegades expansions, reward passes, and exclusive cosmetic items for both expansions. There is also a pretty sick looking collector's edition for $275. The Edge of Fate is around the corner, and once it's here, we'll be able to truly see what we think about the updated and evolved form of Destiny 2. Until then, eyes up, Guardians. What part of the Year of Prophecy is the most exciting to you and why? Let us know in the comments.